So, what do you want to talk about?
Today, YouTube, we are going to be talking about power creep, Tearlaments, what to do with them, and what the potential future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Could look like. All while riding back home. Lovely sky, winter days, let's go! So the first thing is power creep. And it's inevitable. It is honestly inevitable. It is always going to be there in every single card game, whether you want it there or not. And that's just because that's marketing, really. If, for example, like Blue Eyes White Dragon was the best card in Legend of Blue Eyes, and then stayed being the best card, like now, why would you ever want to buy something else? You know? So there has to be better cards to get made, and they can be slightly better or a lot better in some circumstances. And you eventually get to a point where old cards are no longer useful. And that's what we know as power creep. Where old decks and old archetypes and old strategies just don't work anymore. They're too slow, they don't do enough, and all of that annoyingly good stuff. As we come on to today, we have Tearlaments. Now, Tearlaments have been kind of described as sort of modern-day dragon rulers, in the sense that you can hit them, but they ain't gonna die! Considering, like, in the TCG, they're, like, essentially full power, the dragon rulers with the baby dragons, and in the OCG, they are definitely not full power. They actually got really, really nerfed, and still incredibly good. Actually, yeah, we should do the lane splitty. Get ahead of the cars. So yeah, Tearlaments being like pseudo dragon rulers is kind of annoying, because we, as like a Tizero deck, should have the potential to die. And it's only tier 0 because it is seriously just like insanely powerful at what it does and everything. Something just touched my butt. Probably nothing. Bro, it was red. It just turned green. There is no need to honk like that. Oh. Drivers engaging, I'm telling you. Anyway. Well, we're not gonna wait to go through this, we're just gonna go through it. Anyway. Yeah, what are the hits that we could do to Tearlaments to actually, like, nerf them to the point where they don't get to be played as much anymore? You could put them all to one. Maybe you could ban all of the fusions, and then the main decks just kind of we could ban all the main deck monsters, you know? There's so much that you could do to kind of, like, nerf them. The only, like, real comparison with, like, the dragon rulers there is the fact that when dragon rulers were first there, the first ban that they got was all the baby rulers went away, and they were still playable, and that's essentially kind of what the OCG has right now. The Okay, where were we? So I thought I lost my microphone for a second there. No, everything's just fine. Dragon Rulers and Tearlaments, the comparison is basically this. Dragon Rulers were the best deck. The only competitor that they actually had was a control deck that was a little bricky at times. This comparison is basically Dragon Rulers are Tearlament ishizhu, and spellbooks are Flunder. which is interesting to think about, I guess. Anyway, the baby rulers got banned, and then the deck still was amazing. It wasn't as good, but it was still amazing. And it was still like the best deck. And then in the OCG we have a lot of like hits to Tearlament Ishizhu, and it's still the best deck. Ooh. So all the baby rulers died, and then the Dragon Ruler deck was still the best deck there is, which is basically the OCG for ishizhu Tearlaments at the moment. And then all of the Dragon Rulers went to, all the big Dragon Rulers went to 1, and then they got put into other things, and then eventually they all got banned. Do we need to go so harsh on ishizhu Tearlaments for this? Maybe. It really depends on what players do with the deck. If the circumstances are the same as Dragon Rulers, and the fact that it's big nerf, still good, second nerf, still good, then yeah, ban it all, I guess. But that's sort of like the problem with power creep, because you're gonna get to a point where all of the strategies you once knew and loved playing are just not good anymore. And that is annoying and unfortunate. For example, I love appliances. I loved playing Worms back in the day. But like, Worms got quickly phased out when all the anti-meta stuff was just like very easily counterable, because not only did everyone play MST, because it was way back when, but Twin Twister was a new card that came out, which just made MST just kind of pointless. Well, not exactly like pointless, but you know what I mean. Ooh, slowing down. Anyway, I mean, like appliances. Goodness me, they're a really good little engine for extending. They really are. But the problem is, all of the good cards and engines and strategies that you use in appliances that are not the appliancer cards always are better in other decks. And because of that, they get banned and whatever easily. And it is annoying and unfortunate, but it is what it is. So what we did just there was called lane splitting. Is it legal? I don't know. Did we do it anyway? Yes, we did. Are we going to worry about it? No, we're not. Okay, we're going a bit faster in the 70 zone, but that's okay. These lights and cameras don't actually catch us, and that's fine. Goodness me, a lot of wind noise coming in here. I wonder if we got like a leaky vent or something. Could be something like that. Anyway, yeah, so appliances don't have a lot of amazing in-deck archetypal stuff, and they're never going to get it because it's going to get phased out for the next bunch of animes and whatever, because it's an anime deck. It really is. And that's just power creep. Like, if power creep never existed, wow, that'd be amazing to see a card game with no power creep. I can't imagine it though. I mean, even like Taboo Contract, that's gonna have like power creep in it eventually. Tell me it does, tell me it won't, and I'll call you a liar. But we'll see. Yeah, basically just, it's inevitable, it's gonna happen, power creep is gonna happen, cards are gonna get phased out. The stance that Konami has that I'm aware of about banning cards and power creep and such is like, if you ban a deck, doesn't matter what deck, straight up ban it, players will be unhappy. Straight up ban a deck, players will be unhappy because it's someone's favorite deck, and they'll stop playing. Or they may never play again, or whatever, right? It's just how it is. But if you give light little hits to it, they'll pick up new cards for it. And then you're moving more product. And if you hit a lot of cards for it, then it might not get played, or it might use a lot of new cards. And then that's a lot more product getting placed, getting purchased and whatnot. So really, power creep is a very good business like strategy in card games, because like that coupled with a ban list at least. But yeah, guys, power creep is for business, especially with the ban list. You hit little things, people buy more product. You ban an entire deck, and maybe people stop buying products. It's just the way that Konami like really sees it. I'm certain like this was said in like an interview with Fafa. I'm like convinced this is a thing that has happened in the past. I could be wrong. But, you know. So I believe like that's Konami's like stance on like not banning decks outright when really like players demand they do. It is what it is. It really is what it is. But hey, nothing we as players can do about it except complain and moan and whatever. We don't need answers, but we sometimes get them, and that's nice. I mean, Konami's not the worst company out there for some reason. Like, as much as like players like us wish to like to dunk on Konami for being poopy butt heads, but like they're not as bad as others, like Wizards of the Coast or whatnot. Oh, whoa! Look at these trees. This is nice. Oh, we turning here, boys. My hands are, my fingers are really cold because I'm not wearing winter gloves, and I really should have been. Ooh. Right. He's doing a Yui. Ooh, they put all the lights on the trees. Okay, yeah, so I really get distracted by like stopping and looking around at nice things, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Ah, man, I'll try and make this as painless as possible while editing, which is going to be painful for me. But that is entirely what it is. Oh well. So yeah, Tearlaments, we should hit them kind of nicely so that other decks can be played, but I don't know if Konami is gonna really do that. I fully believe that competitive players enjoy this form, like some competitive players really enjoy this format. I know for one, when I was a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, really enjoyed Pepe format because tier 0. The thing I enjoyed about it was that you kind of knew what your opponent was going to be playing before you even sat down. If they played anything different, you got a free win. That, as a competitive player, sounds amazing. Does it not? Does it not sound amazing to go, they're going to play this, and if they're not, I get a free win? Yay! So the only matchup you really need to prepare for is the mirror. And that's when, like, the better players really shine, because it's the nuances within the deck that really get the advantages over. In Pepe, it was about like holding your jugglers or like pretending you're bad at the game. I remember once that I normal summoned a juggler and did like some combos, and in my opponent's turn I'm like, oh my gosh, what's the card? Destroy all the pendulums and then do effects based on that sort of thing. I played my one, he chained his one, I throw down juggler, he's like, you win. Because that card's such a blowout. But yeah, hit Tearlaments to the point where other decks can be played, and then everyone can have fun playing whatever, I guess. But yeah, thanks for listening. Like the video, comment on a topic that you would like to see discussed. I want to do these... I want to do these, like, regularly because I find them fun. Like, I always enjoy riding around, and like having a topic to talk about is kind of cool. So yeah, leave a comment down below on what you would like to see discussed or heard discussed, because it's just a discussion video. You can really just play this in the background and do other stuff. And we'll see you in the next one.